Good evening, everyone, and welcome for our Tier 2 race. This is the Hungarian Grand Prix. I think this is round 10. If I'm not, oh, no, not round 10, is it? I can't remember what round it is, but yep, it's Tier 2 race. I am your host for tonight, Cloud or Ads, alongside. Well, Cross is
Crossy
there. He's just
1888.
he's trying to get
Just
into
forgot
the
to
game.
include the audio.
Yep, it's looking very sunny around Hungary so far. A little bit cloudy, but it looks like the sun is out. Got some early people coming out now. Looks like in the Ferrari garage. So let's see if it's going to be TJ or Yorkie. Grounds he's pulling out now, but yeah, going by last week, an eventful Spa Grand Prix. We had Snedden, our championship leader at the time, come across with someone up Eau Rouge and ended up being at the back of the grid. Made his way up to into strong fourth, but with that result, improved cruise into P1 in the championship, holding out I think a 9-point lead, followed by Reg, who was our race winner last week, who is only 13 points behind Cruz. So coming in, it's about halfway through the season. I think it's halfway through the season now. All this track will count. You're going to have a good performance around here. In my opinion, Cross, if you can master the traction model around here, or the traction, and the concentration you need around here, you're going to absolutely have a good race.
Yeah, if you can really get the grips with this track very quickly, you can get a good time, at least in sprint qualifying anyway. You shouldn't be bothered too much because there is only really the one overtaking zone that we really look at down into turn one. Get a slight chance maybe at turn two, but turn one's going to be the main one. Apart from there, it's really hard to overtake around here. To me, it's like a wider version of Monaco. So to me, I think qualifying is going to be all important, and I think we're going to see this in the next 9.5 minutes that we have. You have a couple of guys out in the mediums, so they're not wanting to burn up their soft tires just yet.
Yeah, so we're just following on board with TJ just coming out of turn 3, going into turn 4 was a flat right hand corner, coming up to turn 5, difficult turn 5. Get this right, it does feel really, really good. And TJ slightly lift up to come through turn 6. This is probably one of the most difficult, or it is difficult part of the circuit. And of course, going through the sector that TJ is going through now, I think personally it's one of the most, it's got to be up there in the top 5 difficult sectors throughout the calendar. I.e. if you do get it wrong, you do lose a lot of time. It's a make and break sector 2 around Hungary.
Yeah, it's just really after that chicane, the next left, right. You know, you need to get the first left completely on point to even stand a chance. I find on the right hander that follows, you can easily just maybe catch too much curb. The car just wants to go to a four-wheel drift. That's a couple of tenths lost, or even on that right hander. You know, the car sometimes doesn't want to turn. It just feels like forever trying to get back onto the throttle to try to somehow gain the time. But the times are starting to come in. Grounds at 15 dead. So we should be seeing 14s, which we just do as well as Reg Max to the 14.7.
Yeah, we've just got a fish now coming over the line in the McLaren. I've heard this is probably not one of his strongest tracks, but he has gone P3 with 15.1. Groundsy, Williams stuck himself into second with 15 flat, and then you got Reg, who's our part of the chasing pack for this Tier 2 title with 14.7. So let's talk about Reg. Had a slow start of the season, but over the last couple 4 or 5 Grand Prix, he's kind of put himself into contention now for the Tier 1 title. Tier 2, sorry. He's about 13 points behind, but this is the Grand Prix that you're going to want to try and make it up due to the fact we have got a sprint race.
Yeah, especially the sprint race is going to be key for him to grab at least some extra points to try to close the gap in on Cruiser. But it kind of just does show, you know, the start of the season really wasn't all there for him. But consistently in the last 4 or 5 weeks has really put him in line into this championship battle. You know, 13 behind Cruiser, only 5 or 4 behind Snedden. So the two Aston Martins aren't going to get this as easy as it looks like they were going to get it at the start of the season.
Yeah, no, and we just had Biddle in the Haas go into P3, 15.1. He's also had a good season so far. I think he's pretty much happy with his performances so far. There's been a couple of dodgy Grand Prix, but he's come away with a win and a couple of podiums, I believe, and he's not too far behind him. And I can't remember who's fourth and fifth, but I know Biddle is. He's about 33 points behind, but you'd think he's pleased with this season so far.
I think it has to be a massive step up from last season. I think we've seen it all last season with Biddle. It was qualifying pace was there, everything was there. He was always in the top three, and then just back into the race, nothing was really going right for him. He couldn't convert the good qualifying into good points, and it looks like this season it's starting to maybe change for him. The points are starting to roll in for him, so hopefully that's kind of bucked that trend from last season. Now he just continue on with the second half of this season, try to get maybe a top three in the championship.
Yeah, and I believe the next person is Bredish Call, who's had again a much better season. Also in the Kick Sauber for this year, so he's had a reasonably good start halfway through. And then we have Snedden. Tends to have a very, very good qualifying, but sometimes he just lacks a little bit of the edge through his race pace.
Yeah, maybe it's just not very clinical, I would say, maybe from the Aston Martin and what he should be. Maybe he's just allowing guys to get past maybe a bit too easy. He needs to maybe start getting the elbows out, trying not to lose as many positions. But we'll see what he does in qualifying, as he's 14.9, so he's straight up with his teammate. What, 100 separate the both of them? Still 2 tenths to find on Regimeister, but the top three in the championship, or top three with what, about 6 minutes to go? 5 minutes to go?
Yeah, with 5 minutes to go, we've got both the Aston Martins who are leading the Constructors' Championship, and by a good margin. So even though they're teammates this year, they have been working quite well together to get that points tally up. But again, they are title rivals, so at one point you are going to kind of be like a Hamilton-Rosberg situation, where you're going to be in the same car fighting for the same thing. We got Radical, the RB. Oh, it just loses the rear end. I don't even know what sector that's on. Where is he? Turn 1. Is that turn 1? Yeah, turn 1. He's lost his rear end into turn 1. Still in the pit. He's got Liam out so far. He's just covered it into the last couple of corners now. The car in front gets out of the way nicely. He's just coming into the pits. So see what Liam can do. Come around the last bend, DRS wide open, all that overtake and energy left in his tank. And it's a 1:15.2. But around here, like you were saying earlier, Cross, it's kind of like Monaco. So we are seeing really, really tight times, especially from, let's have a look, from P7 all the way to the top. It's only separated by 3 tenths, so it can go in any direction for anyone at the present moment.
Yeah, it kind of just does show how close this here really is towards the top side of the field. But now we're going to start seeing everybody stick on the set of softs. They only have one go at it, so it isn't going to be a make or break lap for them. So it will be really, I think, key to look out for maybe the 2 McLarens, Silverside Boy, which is out on his out lap. Needs to maybe take it a bit easy on the out lap. The tires won't really like it round here, especially in the second sector. But I think maybe the 2 McLarens could be the one to look out for.
Yeah, so as you was just saying, we had Fish just come around the end of sector 1, come through the twisty left to right. He is 2.5 tenths up on the soft tyre run, fastest purple sector as you would expect. So at the minute it's going to put him into the top 3. But as the faster guys in front have yet to set a time on a set of softs, it's going to put in an amazing second sector. So he's a 2 tenths, so he hasn't really gained as much as I thought he would have done. It did look like he took a little bit too much curb and chicane, so let's just talk about that horrible chicane cross. It's one of them. There's 2 lines. You can either take it very, very aggressive where you absolutely hit the curb, which gives you the good direction towards the outside curb on the right hand side, but it does significantly lose you time, or you can take conservative role of just literally clipping it, or just taking a little bit of the curb, which will give you better traction coming out of that corner.
Yeah, I think the real problem with that chicane is the fact of the curb is pretty wide, but it's a massive sausage in the middle of it, which sounds absolutely ridiculous. But Yeah, it kind of helps the car get rotated for the second part if you do take the sausage curb, but then you start losing it on the exit as Groundsy 14-1 is really looks like it's going to be the first one of our real soft runners that have set the time in.
Yeah, 41 for Williams for Groundsy up into first place at the moment. Just watch Silversoy absolutely slide it. Just coming out the chicane section, so he's backed off, ready to start another lap. So he's got one more chance. We've got Cruz, apparently he's 5.8 seconds up on his lap time, which is incorrect. So he's deciding to go for another warm-up lap, it looks like. And Fish will be going around again. He's got enough time. Has he got nothing? No, he's pitted, so that is him done. Still waiting for Reg, Snedden and Biddle, who are the closest people. Rue has invalidated his lap. Got Brady's call, just coming into turn one now. TJ's just come out of sector one. He's got a decent enough time on at the moment. It's about nearly 3 temps up, so we'll just follow TJ just through the second sector and sector 3. See how he fares. It's just where Silverside Boy just lost it there, mid corner, which is a bit weird because it's a flat out. So TJ's 3.5 temps up, so he's going to put him into around where Silverside Boy is. No, around where Mongo is, I'd expect at the end of the lap. Still got a lot of overtake left, so he's going to have a good old squirt towards the start-finish line. Coming around the last corner, nice and tidy there by TJ. DRS wide open. Deployed use up into P7. Remaster decided to call it a day. So, middle spun. He's in the wall. That's at the chicane. Yorkie's just gone up to P5. Take everyone round with Snedden. Just gone through sector 2.
Yeah, so we're just at the chicane, what we were talking about, does ride over the sausage curb. Now it's all important on this left-right. Gets a good run enough through it. Now it's put to the floor. Next right-hander should be flat out. No confidence left needed in the Aston Martin. Burns most of his battery now down towards the start of the last sector. As we come into one of the final hairpins, gets the car turned in, tucks it nicely into the apex, runs it out wide, back to the left, to come back out to the right. Maybe a bit of a slide on entry. He gets the car just about in limits. It's not going to be enough. It's going to be a 14.4, good enough for P3 for the Aston Martin.
Yeah, so we're now on to his teammate to see if he can improve. He's about 2 temps up after sector 2. Grounds at minute has got pole. Reg could not beat his pole time of 1:14.1, just slightly behind. With a big gap around here of 2 temps to Sned, but Cruz coming around the last corner now. A lot of battery left to use. Full battery to the end. P4 just behind his title rival, both his title rivals. We got Yorkie, he's invalidated, and that is it. Cross. The only thing I can see, very disappointing so far, to really speak about him, is still down in 15th.
It's definitely not where we expect him to be, especially what we've seen of him in the past few seasons. He's definitely got the pace. I don't know if it's just a track he doesn't like or he just couldn't get the laps strung together, but it was a 15.4, so maybe a couple of mistakes in the middle of the lap could have been the cause for that, but he could be one maybe to look out through the sprint race here to see if he can battle his way up maybe and try to get a lonely point or two. So he could be pretty interesting, I think, because there is quite a few drivers ahead of him where you really wouldn't expect to be ahead of him at this kind of rate.
Yeah, no, we had a few drivers got hands. Biddle, Silverside Boy, Remaster, all couldn't post a faster time on the soft tyres. We don't actually know what their true pace is. It's nice to see. Sunny sprint race. Grounds, let's talk about Grounds. Our pole sitter today. I think he's got a pole this season already. Again, was similar to what Snedden is. His race pace doesn't always match what he does in qualifying. It's something that he'll have to improve on.
Yeah, it's all right doing the pace for the set qualifying, but if you can't do that for what we have, I can't remember exactly, but say on average 30 laps every race, you need to try to keep yourself consistent and try to keep it out of the barriers and try to not cause any contact. And sometimes Grundy does just get caught up in that, which does really hamper his seasons at times. But maybe we can get a bit more lucky for him, and hopefully he can maybe convert this P1 into at least a P1 in the sprint.
Yep, and second, third, and fourth are well, what is it? Third, second, and first in the championship. Do you think these drivers are going to have to now start playing, I wouldn't say dirty, or just a little bit more aggressive than what they have been in the first part of the season? Obviously, races are dwindling down now, and as it's so close in the championship between the three, and you have got a couple of drivers behind, people like Biddle who can capitalise on some points. Like last weekend, he did a brilliant P2. Do you think they're just going to have to start nailing it down now, where they're just going to have to bring their best out?
I think maybe guys for the top three, the elbows might have to come out just a slight bit more than where they are at the minute. It's not going to be full on defending, but the one I think would be interesting is actually going to be the two Aston Martins. We know they're two good friends, and sometimes we've already seen this season they've helped each other out. That will come to a stop now with how close they are in the championship. That could maybe get a bit tasty, maybe starting from now towards the end of the season with how close they are, only nine separating them. Cruiser won't want to give Snedden any freebies, and maybe won't even start wanting to tell Snedden any setups or any little things and tips and tricks that are coming up in the races.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. That it's difficult, isn't it? You got your teammate, and you're both fighting for the same time out for the same championship, but you still have to give each other respect, driving wise, going forward. Um, take us around for the first lap cross. Let's do something different.
We have 5 red lights and we are away then for the sprint race in Hungary. It looks like Grousey has got a pretty decent start. Register does seem to hold P2. Snedden trying to make it 3 wide round the outside. Grousey does defend the inside. We see Snedden just can't get that moved on. Two Aston Martins come close together. And we see the one of the kick Saubers that looks like its hands getting moved on down the inside of Yorkie. Bill Lills joining the party, trying to stick it round the outside. Can he hold it to the inside? Does hold it, but just not got enough, and it looks like throughout the back of the field they've all got through pretty cleanly for turn one. Back to the top of the field, it is as you were for the top four. Fish sticks sitting in behind, just preying on any little mistakes with the two kick Saubers right in behind and two behind them. Fiddle up into P8 at the minute, so little possession gain for him. And maybe one thing to do would be to look at the tires. Everyone's on the mediums, so everyone is going to go to the end, no problem whatsoever. As we get to the last sector, nothing's really changed. They're all, as we said, basically in qualifying. No one's going to be able to overtake sector 2, sector 3, so it's going to be as you were, at least for the top 4, make that top 5 with Fish Sticks there. But Hans makes the position on the first lap.
Yeah, that cross. Yep, so far so good, pretty clean for everyone. Got Radical and Remaster down out of the back, along with Steele, who's has got a wing end plate missing, his front right, so he's come a cropper with someone at some point. That's most likely into turn 1. But yeah, it's you're going to see quite a DRS train around here. For the lack of passing, of course. You've got Fish up into P5. Let's just have a look at the position changes. So the winners are Biddle, Liam, Gary and Lexus. Everyone else has stayed the same or has dropped. Cruz. Oh, something happened to Snedden there. Snedden had a wobble through the chicane and cuts Fish off. So I'm not sure what happened there between Cruz and Snedden. But yeah, we got a new driver. I believe he's a new driver. I don't think he was here last week. Of Hans. So far, so good for him. He's up into P8, fighting with the people of Yorkie and Biddle. So far, so good for him. And hopefully he has a very good qualified. At the minute, you've got Groundsy, you've got Cruz is on the move. He's got the fastest lap now, 160.5. Reg is just behind Groundsy now, going into break zone of turn 1. And we got Fish and Snedden still fighting, and they coming together. Oh, Fish has got DRS Wyvo basically pushing Snedden. And Steden's going on the defensive. Fish breaks late, and he comes to the Alfa Romeo of Bread on the inside, who is fifth in the championship, so he's going to have to try and get past. But at the minute, our championship rivals of Snedden is going backwards.
Yeah, he's maybe just felt the wrath of fish sticks, maybe a bit fish sticks around the outside of turn one. Maybe felt he was squeezed a bit too much and decided to stick one down the inside, late on the brakes. We've seen there was maybe a bit of contact between himself and Snedden. That's really hurt Snedden now through turns 3 and 4. He's lost the position 2. Brett is cool. Now he's under pressure from the other Kicksauber. So the two Kicksaubers could be starting to work together here. Both could be getting some pretty good points with what seems to be no pressure behind from Biddle at the minute.
Yeah, and just looking at the top of the grid now, looks like Reggie's going to make his move. DRS still got a lot of battery, a bit more than what Groundsy's got. Groundsy is using his battery to defend, and a DRS and a beautiful overtake on the outside. Is Groundsy going to still stick on the inside? Yes, he has. And you do have Reg on the outside. Groundsy is using a bit more battery just to defend, and it's just sort of enough. So brilliant defending there by Groundsy, but what that has allowed is Cruz to go up into P3. We've still got Fish and Snedden fighting side by side. Fish is just going to have to relinquish that place just because of the way that the track is. Coming up to the fast sector 2. Difficult sector 2, I'll say. Still picks up the first 3 seconds out of everyone in the Grand Prix. That's probably going up to the fast left hand corner. Both the Kicksaubers in 6th and 7th. Biddle just close behind. York in the Ferrari in P9. Mongo P10. Silverside Boys still sticking there in P11, literally being pushed around by Liam. And you got TJ there in the Ferrari. Let's talk about TJ quickly. Doesn't tend to do too good at qualifying, but the last couple of races he has picked up points, so it does seem like he just picks them points when he capitalises on other people's mistakes. But he has driven a couple of good Grand Prix so far.
Yeah, I think that's always been the way with TJ. Even when he was in Tier 3 qualifying, and he knows this was never his strong point, he was always a lot better consistency in the race, which helped him win the Tier 3 championship a couple of seasons ago. This is his reward up into Tier 2, and he is starting to stick it with these boys. And maybe, a bit quicker in the qualifying, and we could maybe see him go for a championship in this season or two. Obviously, the new game could be benefiting him, or it could really throw a different power curve, and he could be back down in Tier 3. We'll be waiting to see, but we always know TJ always has this great race pace, and we are seeing so far.
Yeah, so we're on board with Mongo, looking at the rear wing camera at the minute of Silverside Boy. He's chasing down Mongo for P10. All over the back of him. Then there's TJ, you've got Lexus just behind. So at the minute, all the people are very, very close together, apart from Snedden, who I'd expect to be under a little bit more trouble due to the fact that he hasn't got any DRS to defend himself. You've got Fish about half a second behind, so let's see if Fish is going to use a bit of battery and a DRS overtake. Let's see how it is. And Snedden is using the overtake button to defend. And here comes Fish. Is he going to go for a move into the inside of turn 1? No, he decides not to. That's clever racing there by him. He's going to get a second opportunity now coming into the second DRS. But to be fair, Cross, I don't see the point in that second DRS. It does nothing. I'm not too sure why they've actually put it in. And this is going in real life. It doesn't cause any opportunities, does it, to pass?
No, it's really a nothing DRS. So unless if the guy in front gets a poor exit, it helps you that slight bit. But if that was the case, you'd be already getting past them by the time you got to that corner anyway. So for maybe God knows why they've done it. Say they've got an extra DRS, so God knows. It's just absolutely useless around here, to say the least.
Yeah, just on board with Hans, our new driver, in the Kicksauber tonight as a reserve, and he's keeping up with his experienced teammate of Bread is Cool. So far so good for him, and just behind is the league owner of Biddle, down in P8. To be fair, he is fighting with Bread in this championship and the people in front, so I'd expect him to pull something out of the bag. You've got Yorkie and Mongo. And Mongo looks like he might go for a move on the inside of Yorkie. Is he going to? Then we've got to move up the top.
We have Grindsey round. Sorry to cut in. Grindsey on the exit of turn 1 has decided to spin it down now into P8. It's going to be a lot worse than that, but he has lost the front wing of the right end pit, it looks like. So the three-way battle up top is down to 2.
Yeah, so like we were saying earlier, it's these little mistakes that Groundsy tends to make during the races, which is not doing him so well in the championship. Got pole, fighting for the lead. He's just lost that rear end. It is very easily to lose that rear end in turn 1, especially when you feel like you've got a little bit extra grip. Oh, Stills come a cropper with Brewmaster, and Brewmaster is round. That wasn't. Oh, and Hans is retired from the race. Hans has crashed. Is that going to be our first safety car? But it's all happening. When's he crashed? It's a weird one. He must have clipped the corner. But yeah, I've just called out on stream. Still bubbled over the chicane and went into the side of a Brewmaster. And Brewmaster's not going to be happy with that at all. So he's down in P17. We was just beefing up our newcomer of Hans. It looks like he lost his rear end just coming out at the end of sector 2, which again, Cross, can be easily made.
Yeah, it's a very weird one. I think with Hans, with exactly where he's lost that, whether he's lost it on the exit the corner before, or if it is just that quick left-hander, he's done something there. But it's unfortunate for him because he was going pretty well, sitting in behind his teammate all race. But he's lucky enough that we do have the main race coming up after this one, so all isn't over just yet for him. And if he shows that pace in the main race, he'd be off for very good points.
Yeah, and I've just watched Lexus take someone off the track, and the game hasn't told him to give it back. Just squeezed TJ a little bit on the curbs. So TJ's now stuck behind Liam and Lexus. P9 is Hillside Boy, so Mongo has the points at the moment, so you get 1 point, I believe, for P8 upwards. With that crash, it's made Yorkie go up 1, and we have someone in. Did we just see someone dart in the pits then, or was I just seeing things? I think I was seeing things. And it looks like Cruz Cross has now caught up Reg, his championship rival.
Yeah, Cruz is really kind of stuck in the mini DRS train, being at the back of it. He couldn't attack Groundsy, so Reg was kind of just free to worry about Groundsy. Groundsy's left the field.
Oh my god, I just caught that.
So did Bredis go.
I've literally just caught that on. Sorry, the button. It looks like him and Fish have come a cropper, and that's what it looks like has happened. Trying to figure out where he is. So that's part of the DRS section. I think it looks like Fish has got missing a left wing end plate. So it's either Bread was cool was on the inside and come across Fish. Outside come across Fish. I don't know what happened, but I did literally catch Bread in the wall. So again, it's moved everyone up 1 from 4th downwards. Yep, sorry. Cross, continue with Cruz, sorry.
Yeah, but now Cruz has kind of been set free to really put the pressure on Reg. Reg, though, does have quite a bit of battery, 90%, to defend this every lap. It's interesting to see here, does Cruz even have the top speed to try to close in on Reg? It is quite late in the straight where he does close in, so Reg at the minute seems to have the slight advantage. Even though he doesn't have the DRS, he still has quite good straight line speed to hold off Cruz. So Cruz is going to have to try to do something different, it looks, to try to steal this win away from the Alpine.
Yeah, we just got Yorkie having a brilliant race. Up into P4 in the fries, just taking Biddle into turn 1. This is allowed Mongo and Silside Boy. So out of nowhere, Mongo and Silside Boy are on for a good result if they can get past Biddle and Yorkie. So we've got a train of 4 people here. Yeah, that little bout at the beginning seems to have knocked Snedden's confidence a little bit. He's dropped to 7 seconds behind his teammate. Do you think that's the reason why, or do you just think it could be set up, or he just knows it's still a good position being in P3 just because it is the sprint part?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a combination of things, but you know, we've seen he was fighting with fish sticks through the first, say, half of this race. when the top three had the DRS, that allowed them to pull out a bit more. But now I think he's just going comfortable. He's got 5 seconds in behind him. He knows he's not gaining or losing anything with 2 laps to go for him. So he's just taking it easy, just bringing the car home for that P3.
Yeah, and TJ's got a good opportunity here to pass Liam. Liam is outside of DRS compared to Lexus, so TJ, he's got a bit of battery and DRS is wide open. Is he going to make his move into P9? He is in the not in the points, but he's in the top 10. He's going to have one opportunity here, and he decides to back out. That's experienced driver there, not going for a dive on the inside. Oh, TJ! and that cross happens when you've got overtake on and DRS and turning at the same time.
Yeah, 3 and 1 really don't mix up pretty well, and TJ has probably going to need a new set of underpants after that one. But he still hasn't learned his lesson. The overtake is still on, so he must have completely forgot about it, or he's just had enough of this race. As we see, one of the cars in front, Liam, goes wide, goes so Diamond Douchey takes advantage of that one to climb up the P9.
Yeah, and TJ has also got missing wing end plate somewhere, from somewhere. So to be fair, he's doing quite good with, especially with a high downforce circuit. And yeah, like you were saying, P9 for Douche, just about 2 seconds behind Lexus, who's got the last bit of points. Got Silverside Boy all over the back of Garanzi, but Lexus is making himself known here. He's got a lot more battery than Silverside Boy. Lexus looks like he's going to go for the move. Gary goes really, really defensive there. I wouldn't say it was late, but Silverside Boy loses the rear end on the curb. Lexus is going to go on the inside. It's going to be a comfortable pass here by Lexus up into P7. So this is now turning into a 5-way fight for P4.
Yeah, unfortunately though, we're on the last lap of the sprint race. If only we had another 20, because these 5 are going hammer and nail at it. It looks like Biddle will claim the P4. Then we know's basically got the P3. Cruiser's pushing the car absolutely sideways, trying to close in to Regmeister, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. It looks like this Alpine of Regmeister is at least going to claim the sprint race so far this evening.
Yep, so across the line. Oh, Lexus picked up a 3-second penalty on the last lap. She's going to drop him out of the points, but Reg takes the win of the sprint race around Hungary. P2 is Cruz. P3 is going to come across the line of Snedden and the other Aston Martin. P4 will be Biddle. So improved when he's qualifying, so very, very good by him. So P4 for Biddle. P5, Brilliant Yorkie. P6 is Mongo. P7 is Silverside Boy. P8, Diamond Douche taking up the last bit point. P9 is Liam. P10, Lexus. Radical. P11 in the end. P12 for TJ. And P13 is Fish. Slowly coming to the pits. Run out of fuel. Always perhaps to go slow. His fuel light's flashing. Right, so yeah, that was I wouldn't say so much entertaining sprint, but that is the nature of this circuit. The game does give Lexus the drive of the day for the sprint. So let's just go through the results. So you got Reg in P1 in the Alpine picking up 8 points. Cruz, his championship rival, picking up 2. Picking up second, 7 points. Got Snedden in P3. Biddle P4, Yorker P5, Mongo P6, Silverside Boy P7, P8 Diamond Douche, P9 Liam, Lexus 10, Radical 11, TJ 12, and Fish in 13. So didn't Yorkie do very well there?
Yeah, actually, you'll take the P5. If we only started P8, you still take it, because that was quite a battle for that second half of the race from P4 all the way down. So it'll be good points for the Ferrari. Shame that his teammate of TJ couldn't quite do the same, but it looks like it is going to shape up for quite an interesting race, although we do have another 18 minutes of qualifying to go.
Yep, so we do have, from last season, they changed their rules. In Formula 1, it does look very, oh, sorry, I got hiccups, very, very cloudy. So I wonder if rain is on the way. We do have, sorry, what was I saying? Yeah. So last season, your sprint race clarification would be your starting grid for. No, have I got it all the way around? How was it last season?
Would have
I
been
can't.
your sprint race results.
That was it. Yeah. So your sprint race results would have been your clarification start for the main race. This year or last year now, they changed it so it's separated in two events. So you do get two bites of the bullet. So part of Fermo rules will obviously now come into play after when you leave your garage. So there is setup changes allowed on different cars. So it would have given them a bit of information and data going around through the sprint if they need to do any adjustments. But again, that would need to be done before you come out your garage. You do have still a couple of people have just left cross. I think Cruz left. Don't know who the other one was.
What I can do if I can try to find them.
But we got early people coming out of Silverside Boy, and alongside his teammate of Fish, got Still, who's the first one out on track. So I will take around a lap with him when he comes in. He's going to want to try and improve on his performance from the sprint. Like you were saying, it's not the Still we've seen in the last couple of Grand Prix. Just it could possibly be just track specific. But let's have a look. So you're going to want to try and get into the 114s. Not now because he's on the medium tyres, but 15, 3 or 4 would do nicely for him. That's what the faster guys want, so let's see what he does. DRS wide open, Squirt overtake, halfway down the straight. Does he lift off? No, he's still got it going on. So just coming into the braking zone now of turn 1. Couple of lines you can actually take through there. DRS wide open is the second part of the thing. Coming into turn 3 and 4, which is slew in left and right hand corner before we go up to turn 5 and 6. And you can take this without braking. You just need to lift off a little bit and maybe change down a gear. He does it very, very nicely. Coming into turn 6 and now coming into the difficult turn 7 and 8 of the chicane. Let's see how Still takes it. Like I was saying earlier, just want to try and clear that little bit of curb, which he's done very, very nicely without hitting the sausage curbs. Coming into the end of sector 2 now. Let's see how he fares in sector 2. Oh, a little slidey slide there. Opening up the traction. 53.6, so it's not too bad for his first flying run. Board, but he's now joined back. So far hasn't. Coming into last corner now for Still coming across the line. 15.3, like I said, 15.3. So he's put himself in contention now, especially on the medium runs. Much better there from Still. Now we've got ground zero pole sitter form at the sprint quali. 15 and 5 for Fish, and Groundsy's gone straight on the soft tyres, so I'd expect a low 14s like he got the first time around. Let's see if he's got into the 13s or just he matched his sprint quality time with 1:14.1. So that is the benchmark. So boy just behind his McLaren teammate of 5 thousandths of a second. 5. Let's have a look. Brady's course just coming across the line now on his soft tyre run of 15.4, so that's not good for him, especially on the soft tyre run. Take everyone around with Yorkie Cruiser.
Yes.
Cosgrave, sorry.
So Yorkie's just came through the quick left-hander of turn 5 through what used to be a tough one of turn 6 down towards the chicane now. Takes a bit of the inside curve of both of them and invalidates, so that's the lap done for the Ferrari man.
Okay, take everyone around with Remaster.
So we were just actually past the chicane, so it actually kind of works out. Quick left, right. We've got, does he keep the foot to the floor? He does keep the foot. He's got a bit of a toe in front. Purple through the second sector. Well, we believe it, we won't know. He gets actually pretty nicely through the right-hander down towards the chicane. Goes in quite deep. We'll get a better exit. Coming towards the last corner now. Maybe goes in slightly deep. Gets on the throttle, plenty of battery to use up with the DRS. It's going to be a 14.9 P2 for Brewmaster. I think you'll be happy enough with that one.
Yeah, much better improvement there. Took a lot of information from the first part of this weekend in trying to just gauge where things are, and he's done much improved lap with 114.9, still about 8 tenths slower than Groundsy on the same tyres. But Ross, can you invite Biddle back in? He's left again.
Yeah, done it all.
Well, York could just invalidate again on his second lap run. Snedden now coming into sector 1, coming out of sector 1, just got on board with him. Coming into, just coming up to, I think, turn 7 and 8, or 6 and 7, so. Takes and corners perfectly, a little bit of too much sausage curve there, which makes the rear end loose. Taking a lot of curve through these sections, what you need, but he has got off and he has invalidated. So he's going to come in probably now the way he's driving, going to come back in. Got Cruz now on the medium tyres. And again coming into sector 2, decides to miss that curve, takes a lot of that curve, got a yellow flag somewhere. I think that's just a car slowing. Flat out here by Cruiser, a little bit slide through there, 53.6. That's going to put him around at the minute, I think where Still is. I could be wrong, but I think still going to 53.6. And he's going to want to try and improve. He's going to want to try and get in front of Reg and Snedden in these qualifying sessions to improve his championship hopes. DRS wide open, a lot of overtake left for Cruz at 14.9, so brilliant time by there. One of the only drivers this weekend who's got into the 14th cross on the medium tyre.
Yeah, I think he is really the only one that's got into the 14th, so he's broke that barrier on the medium tyres. So gives him, 11 minutes to come in, maybe think about any improvements he can make, and then pull the set of softs on. Probably get 2 runs on the same set of tyre. We know he does not overfuel the car, but put a bit of extra fuel in that he can get the 2 runs out of it. So Cruiser at the minute is looking pretty good. He will get quite an improvement on the soft tyres, so he could be the one to really look out on Groundsy, it looks like.
Yeah, they've still got a couple of drivers still haven't done a lap. You've got Snedden, Diamond, Lexus is now coming into the vast part of sector 2. So let's see how he fares. He's normally quite a good race. I've lost my words now. What was I going to say? He's quite good with race pace, but his wouldn't you agree with me? His weakness can be qualified at certain times.
Yeah, it's near enough the exact same as TJ, so it is. It's just qualifying pace. You can't get it on the one lap, but give him 27, 28 laps, he can do it no problem. But he's going up to the end of his first lap. He gets a clear run through the last corner with the Ferrari in front going into the pits. It's a good exit, plenty of battery all the way to the line. It's going to be a 15.3 P8 for the Mercedes. He'll probably take that actually, I think, for a first lap.
Do you think that the people that struggle in qualifying compared to race, do you think it's just purely just down to the pressure of trying to get that ultimate one lap pace out of the car? Do you just think it's just down to the pressure of trying to get that little bit extra of the car?
Yeah, I think what I have found with some people, especially goes P2, people have these guys that can't really qualify. When it comes to qualifying, they really try to over push the car, and that's where they're losing their time. When it comes to the race, they're not even thinking of pushing the car, and they've got the great race pace that they have. So I think even if they try to think just not over push this and just set a half decent lap, I think they could actually be surprised with the times that they would be set to find.
Yeah, and just going through, Silside Boy now is coming on his second run. He's on his soft tyres this time. He was half a second up in sector 2. See where he puts himself. He puts himself P2. So 14.9, still 8 temps. Grounds he's got on everyone. And our new driver for this weekend, Hans, who's on the PC, is put himself into a lovely P2 position with a 114.6. Can you invite Mongo back in, please? He's also left. Everyone's leaving. We've got Diamond Deuce down in 14, but he's going to want to improve. Got Biddle now just starting his lap. And you've got one of our championship contenders down in P17, so he's under a little bit of pressure to get this right. Got P2, I think we've got a spinner, which we have. We've got Liam. He's a spinner, or he's just trying to get out of the way. Yorkie's put himself up into P9, and that is on the soft tyres at 15.1. So yeah, very tight up there, cross between. I won't include Groundsy because he's out of the question. But from Bahans all the way down to P9, separated by 3.5-4 tenths. And saying that Groundsy goes even quicker.
Yeah, he's just actually right on board with him. He was just up on his time. He's had a mega last sector to try to squeeze the 13s in. Just not worked this lap. I think he will definitely get it though on his final run. But yeah, going back to this midfield, we can see how close it really is from P4. We can stay down there by P10, P11. It's only 4 tenths separating it. So there's plenty of time to be found on the fresh out of soft. So even guys like Lexus and Stated kind of find quite a jump when it comes to this end of this qualifying to find themselves in a really good position.
Yeah, and as you're speaking about Lexus, just coming across the line, P9. So yeah, 3 tenths difference. Let's have a look. Take everyone round with Steel Cross. Just starting his lap now. See what
he's just at turn 1 into the useless DRS zone down on the run to turn 2. Camber kind of forces the car to kind of understeer. Gets hold of it well through flat out of turn 4, coming up the hill towards the quick turn 5. Needs to make the turn in absolutely precise. He's caught too much of the entry curve on the right. It's forced the car to slide, but he is continuing on up towards the chicane. He takes it nice and clean, gets away. I'll say that he collects the sausage curb on the rear on the exit. That's lost him time, and he's just trying to overdrive the car now. He's making silly little mistakes at this time. Is going to be really nowhere near, as we see him sliding and invalidate. So it's all about now trying to cool down the tires, try to gain up some battery, and go for one final run with 5 minutes 40 seconds left in the session.
Yep, so Still's going to have to go round again. TJ's just slotted into P14. Biddle now has just gone up into P10 on his first lap run. Cruz is on his lap. Still enough time for a couple of laps left. Couple runs. Remaster's still up into P7, just coming into Sector 1 now. So he's on a blinder in a minute. He's 2.5 temps up. He's used most of his battery though. It's only got 27% left. So by the end of the lap, he's going to run out. Whoa, massive wobble there. He spun it. And he's lucky he ain't out. He hit that curve really, really hard. He's going to have to be careful. He's got a car coming on the inside. Outside, sorry. And he's got another Ferrari there. He's getting out the way very, very nicely. But yeah, he was up at the time, but muffed it. But Cruz now coming around the last couple of corners. Now this is going to have to be a blinder to try and beat Grounds' time. He was nearly 4 temps up. So let's see what he can do. DRS wide open. Overtake button left on. He moves himself up to P2. But again, no one can beat that time of Groundsy. 1:14 flat.
Really seems out of the distance for a lot of these drivers. The only one I can maybe really think about is Regmeister. It's radical though with the lap. A 14.8 throws himself up into P5. He'll be happy with that one, especially with maybe having one more lap at it. But I think Regmeister in the Alpine is going to really be the only one to try to at least get a 14.2, 14.1 to try to put some sort of pressure on Groundsy, because at the minute he's had this one pretty easily since we started.
Yeah, I think Radical is going to be very, very happy with that. Only 3 temps off of P2 at the present moment. Again, our P2 man in the championship still down in P18, so he just can't get hold of his qualifying. Let's just go around with a lap with him. Just coming into the end of Sector 1 now. The Aston Martin, he is... I can't even see his difference in his time because he hasn't actually posted one, but according to the game he's done a purple first sector. Slidey around there, so it looks like he's gone for more front end and quite a lot less rear end, going by the slide of his rear end of his car. Come through the difficult part of the circuit where he lost it last time round. Just coming into sector 2 now. It takes a lot of curb on the left hand side. Sometimes you want to do that, sometimes you don't. It can be quite dangerous, as we saw with Still nearly losing it. And I think that's probably where Hans slipped it in the sprint race. Just coming around the last corner now. He's got a little bit of battery left to take before he hits that finish line. DRS overtake button wide open. It's going to be a very, very good time by him. It's a 14.5, so he's still behind Cruz, his championship rival and his teammate, but more importantly in front of Reg. And that was really Snedden's first run, so he's going to have to be quick to go back round again, but I don't think he's actually going to make another run. Fish is now starting. Oh no, he didn't start his lap. He finished his lap. The 1:14.7. Silver Subboy now is a 10.5 up. Got a yellow flag somewhere. I think that is a car. Just get out of the way. Silver Subboy now coming around into the end of sector 2. He has used up most of his battery. So let's see what it is. He's still only a 10.5 up, but this 10.5 cross is going to put him up into around P4.
As we were saying earlier, with how close this midfield is, it doesn't take much improvement to gain at least 3 or 4 positions. He runs slightly wide in the last corner, but it will help him with the exit. Keeps it within bounds, and he backs out of the lap. So he didn't think it was enough. He's wanting to give it one more go. So maybe that could be a mistake. We will find out though in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, we've got his teammate Fish. He's going to have enough time for one more. Snedden, he's building himself up for another lap. Also, he's all going to kick off here, so you're going to have to help me here because everyone's going out for their last laps. Got Yorkie now saving his battery for another run. TJ's the only one on a lap, and let's have a look at how he fares coming into sector 1. Someone's just left. I couldn't see who it was. Or Fish is retired, sorry, my bad. There you got TJ, he's just over 2 tenths quicker of his time in a minute, so that will put him up by his teammate. So it's hopefully TJ has a very good end to this qualifying. Goes a little bit wide there in the first part of the chicane, which is going to affect his entry and exit of corner 8. Coming into the end of sector 2 now for TJ, little squirt of overtake there coming out the traction zone. Very tidy through there for him. He's 2.5 tenths up, so he has improved a little bit. Again, it's going to put him around his teammate, so if he's going to match his teammate, then why not? That's who really he's fighting. Let's go into the last corner now. A lot of battery still left for TJ to use, 34%. And overtake button's just been squared on now. DRS wide coming across the line, and he does. P10, brilliant. Last sector by TJ, puts up into P10 cross.
A great lap for the Ferrari. It's just riding on board with Snedden. He's just coming around the last corner. It's not going to be enough to get ground. He was a 10.5 up through the first 2 sectors. If he does hold it, it's going to be P2, which he does for now, but plenty of laps to come in behind. Reg Meister as well was up a 10.5. Now he's up a half a second. So this could be putting the gap in between P1 and P3. Should be P2 for the Williams. It's actually P1 with a mega last sector. So it's all down to ground. He's up at 10th. Can he get this done?
Yeah, let's have a look. So you got Remaster and Cruz all on a lap. Cruz is going to have a blinder here. He's going to need to try and find over half a second. You've got Hans in the kickstart, has made himself up into P3. Grounds even goes faster with 13.8. So his strong showing in qualifying so far this weekend has improved his time. Cruz is only up by half a tenth, so he's really fighting Snedden and Reg in this race. He's not going to beat Reg's time at this present moment, so he's going to try and get in front of his teammate coming into the race. Let's see, hugs that curb, really, really good. A lot of overtake coming up, and he doesn't improve. So it's P5 for our championship leader, and that is it. Cross grey. That looks like our qualifying for the race is done. But what I noticed about Cruz, he was probably the only one that had quite a lot of battery left before he came onto the start-finish straight. Do you think he's just not deploying it in certain parts, and this is where he's losing out in qualifying?
That maybe could be a reason, but then we could see that he would actually gain on a couple of other drivers on that short run to the line just by having that little bit more battery, over 20% at least. So it kind of helps, but it kind of does hinder throughout the first three quarters of the lap. Whether he loses more out in the first three quarters than he gains in the last corner, it's hard to tell. But P5 for him with a different kind of battery strategy, I think he'll take that, especially seeing his race pace from the sprint. It's not the worst position to be starting, and he has his teammate right in front. And if them two can work together, they could really make some good inroads in the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, lovely to see sunny Hungary, so it don't look like there's any rain at the present moment. Just looking in the chat, not much happening. Diamond saying, "Oh, I am so shit." That's because he qualified last. But you look at it in this perspective, from 10th to last, I think it was only separated by about 3 tenths. So again, like we were saying earlier, across it is very, very tight between the bottom 10 and then I won't say the top two, but between third and 10th are probably the tightest through the grid. Right. Give me 1 second, peeps. I'm just going for a tinkle while we have our 3 minute silence.
TJ's left the session, so that isn't going to be good for him. Gary's left the session, so what has started going on here? Has a restart been called, or what's went on?
Well, TJ's our host,
Yeah,
so
TJ
uh,
and Gary.
so whoever I'm gonna leave it up to. Oh no, I've been
Er,
kicked and all
yeah.
now.
So
So everyone, we're just gonna pause the stream. We'll be back in literally 5 minutes while we just get sorted what's happened. Give me 2 minutes. Right, and welcome back. Sorry that took a little bit longer than what we expected, but it was a whole lobby restart. Typical game, messing up. So TJ's had to set the grid again. Um, so we're just waiting for the race to start. Don't know if we'll get a normal 3-second start, a 3-minute waiting time, which I expect we would. Everyone's got to choose their setups again. And tyre strategies. So who have you got your money on today winning it? I don't know, I'll give Groundsy some praise. I'm going to take Groundsy. If he can keep it out of the wall and have a clean race, I'm going to give it to Groundsy.
It's kind of all about that. If he can keep it clean, he's definitely got the pace to do it. It looks like it's him and Reg. But I'll go with someone that's not them too. I'm hoping to see a bit of improvement from Snedden. I think from P4 on the grid, it definitely stands a chance. As long as he can stay in the DRS, the three guys in front, he does really stand that good chance. I'm going to go Snedden to win this race. Something like a late safety car kind of really helps him benefit in this race and somehow wins it.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Okay, Silverside Boy said it in chat. Not me, as I've got 10 seconds coming my way. Does that mean Gary's pressed A before the host? Can you let us know what you mean, Silverside Boy? Because that's the only way you'd probably get a 10 seconds if you've read it up before host.
Unless he's done something in qualifying and he knows already. Because there's nothing hanging over his head.
Oh, yeah, as he's dropped his
Oh,
control and clicked A. Oh dear. That's him fucked them. Oh dear. Well, Gary hasn't got a setup either, unless he's chose his setup. He's not. He's going to just have a normal balanced setup. Did you choose your setup in time, Gaza?
I think he's might be taking the piss out of here ads very slightly.
Yeah, I thought so.
Because that's a bit longer than
Yeah,
30 seconds.
Prick.
Allow David to get me with the weather, gets me all excited, but doing that there, Gary, that's just not on.
No, and we was talking in the break about football news. You got Atletico Madrid at 1-0 up against Real Madrid at half time. So good news for the Arsenal people. Support Arsenal. I would prefer having an Atletico than Real Madrid. But it's looking quite close according to Sky Sports. Arsenal 2-1 up against PSV. Double Sterling assist. You got Rice and Zinchenko who scored. And Perisic, ex-Tottenham man, scored for PSV. See how one of the Championship people are doing. I know Club Brugge and Aston Villa are 0-0, but Club Brugge are down to 10 men. Leeds lead Millwall, and Watford and Stoke are both ahead also. So with Leeds towards the top of the table. But here we go to start the Tier 2 race in Hungary, finally, and we are away. Groundsy looks like he had a better start, but Hans has got past Reg already, and he's on the outside of Groundsy, and we've got Cruz going very deep into turn 1. He's lost out to Steele and no, he hasn't. He's lost out to Steele. And he nearly hits the back of Steele. Nearly went really deep there, under pressure there. Steele side boys moved up into P11. He's in front of Lexus. TJ's retired from the session. It's a virtual safety car. So, poor old TJ, our host, after all that, is spun, been hit. Turn 3.
That is not ideal in the greatest of worlds, let alone having to do a full lobby reset as the host. And now he's going to have to stay in the lobby and watch all this unfold with him not being in it. Yeah,
But it does looks like Cross has come a cropper with bread. He's the only one who's got no front wing.
So that is pretty unfortunate for the Fridays. And then got very close. His hands,
Oh,
there's
Haas
quite,
is lagging,
yeah.
and he's coming to the pits. Not too sure if his AI's done that or he's done that. A bit of a weird move from P2. Oh, and he's retired also. That was a weird one.
I don't know if he knows that he
That's
was lagging and he just doesn't want to take that risk. Because you have his teammate as well, Brett Cullen. Hopefully he's just in to change the tires, but maybe Hans knows that he doesn't really want to become a situation in the middle of that pack.
Alright, so that has moved both of the McLarens up into the top 10 with Liam and Biddle in P8 and 7. Close behind Cruz at the minute. His remaster is all over the back of him. Cruz has decided. I wonder why Cruz had such a slow start. He has started on the hard tyre. So let's have a look at the tyre situation. So you've got the front three that are on mediums, and you have got Reg and Cruz on hard. So that would explain why they had slow starts. And then everyone behind, apart from Lexus and Beretta, are all on a medium. So these first two couple laps across for Reg and Cruz are going to be very, very important going forward.
Yeah, this is all about just trying to hold the steel. It looks like, yeah, just having a bit of a timing glitch on, which has just hopefully sorted itself out, which it has. I was wondering if Ned was actually going to get the DRS with the timing, but he has. But yeah, Reg's Cruiser, like, just don't do anything stupid as Remaster tries to get one down the inside of Cruiser. It gets the better exits, which should be alright for him for now. Try to stick with Reg and Steele, and hopefully Steele can start bringing them back up to the top two. If that's the case, then they're really in this race, being on the hard tyres early.
Yeah, and Ruse used quite a lot of battery that lap, but everyone else Sneddon's used a lot more battery than what Groundsy's done. It's quite hard to gain the battery up around here. Biddle's sitting nicely in P7 in the halves, keeping it clean so far in P7. Let's have a look at the position changes also. So the winners are Sneddon is still had a major start up into P3, up 4 places. And our winner is Liam. He's up into 8th with 6th place. 6 places up. Then you've got Diamond and Lex is up 5. Radicals actually dropped down 4. But yeah, going forward. But there's a little bit of a big gap now between Still and Sneddon.
Crucially though, Sneddon's actually lost the DRS of Groundsy, so that's going to allow Groundsy to start pulling away if he can, as Regmeister gets the move also done down the inside of Steele. So even though Reg is on the hards, he's still making life hard for Steele. They go side by side down towards turn 3. Reg with a great move behind the outside. Is it enough? It's just going to be enough as we get to turn 4. So Reg with a great set of moves himself up to P3.
Yeah, but what Cruz wants to do now, he's going to have to try and keep on the back of Still and Reg. I'm not too sure what the... Have you driven this track recently? I don't know what the crossover is between the mediums and the hards.
I haven't driven it recently. It would have been maybe a couple of months ago would have been the last time I drove this, but crossover point, I would imagine probably in around lap 14 maybe, something in around there. I would expect to see the mediums really start to die off. The hard runners can really take effect then. But I mean, we're already seeing that with Regmeister. He's made mincemeat of Steele, and he's starting to pull away from Steele very slightly. He's starting to actually close in on Sneddon now. He really has lost the DRS. The Reg on the hards looks like the one.
Yeah, it looks like Still is suffering with his rear end going through the last 2 corners. It does look like very slidey. Let's have a look how he is coming out of turn 1. A little bit better that time round. Let's go further down the grid. You've got both the McLaren drivers working together at the present moment. They're in 9th and 10th. Lexus not too far behind. Got Diamond all on his own, and look at the minute we're closely behind Yorkie, sliding there, and Radical just behind Yorkie. Got a better exit than Yorkie going up the hill. Oh no, Radical! Oh, he got caught on that horrible bit of curb, and that's what happens when the car bottoms out. Lucky enough he didn't get into the wall, Lexus has already picked up his first 3-second penalty, so that's not good for him. 5 laps in. And what do you think that that Fish and Gary should do here? Both on the same set of medium tyres. You would have thought what they would have split the strategy due to the fact they were near enough starting together. So that puts them in a vulnerable position if there was an early safety car. They both had to pit, so one's going to have to do longer than the other. Do you think they'll be doing team orders today, or do you just think they're just going to be racing it?
I think they'll probably just be racing it and see how it kind of goes for them, because it's alright saying I'm going to pit maybe a lap or two before yourself, but by the time that comes to the race, you know, situations could change that the other driver needs to get in early. But the fact they're so close together on the same set of tyres, they've got Lexus in behind on the hards already with the time penalty. They're both under pressure. We've already seen the steel. These mediums really aren't lasting really well with the rear tyres, so they're going to have to think about it pretty soon of who gets first go, because the undercut will be pretty massive and they will benefit whoever gets in first.
Yeah, no, the driver on the move at the present moment is Reg. He's up into P2. He's now handing down Groundsy. He is on the harder tyre. So he's the front runners that are on the harder tyre, him and Cruz. And it's, like you were saying, the medium tyres look like they're not working on some people's cars. Snedden's gone backwards now. He's losing time to the hard tyres in front. And now Cruz is right on the back of him. So let's just see if Snedden did get DRS, which I don't think he has, no. So are we going to see P1, P2 having a fight over position here? No. So it looked like Snedden used a bit more battery than Cruz, but Cruz gets a lovely exit. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there by both drivers, and Snedden goes very, very defensive. Cruz is going to go around the outside. Oh, they're giving each other a lot of room here, and Snedden does very well. He's obviously watched what Fernando did to Hamilton round here a couple of seasons ago. Pushed that car wide and it cuts that driver off behind. But yeah, it looks like the medium tyre runners are struggling at the minute. Snedden's dropped nearly 2 seconds to Reg this lap alone.
The Aston Martin garage will be wincing watching this one, how close they've got at turn 3. I'm surprised team orders haven't been called to get Cruiser past, because they're both now losing 2 seconds to Regmaster. So I wouldn't be surprised if Snedden let him go this time by, because they can't afford to lose any more time than this, especially with Cruiser seeming to be on the better tyre. He needs to try to get this done as quickly as possible. But then again, it comes to the championship. Do you give anybody a free go at it, especially not your teammate that you're fighting? So Sned's probably thinking about that. He doesn't want to give too many freebies, but it doesn't look like he's going to get a choice this time by with Cruiser with the overtake on. DRS down the inside, gets that move done pretty nicely. Sned is going to try to hold it round the outside, but just not enough. You will get a slight better exit, but with Cruiser with the DRS should be safe enough down to turn 3, so P3 for Cruiser, but maybe a lap too late, and that's really cost them.
Yeah, and just behind this you got Ruin Steele's managed to part. You got Lexus and Silside Boy both fighting for position here. They go side by side up the hill. Snedden's picked up a 3-second warning. Oh, no one's backing off. And Lexus should have backed off slightly bit earlier than that. It wasn't along Silside Boy enough to relinquish a little bit more space. The Silside Boy, that's going to be a warning to Silside Boy that Lexus is there, and he is on the, looks like, faster tyre at the present moment. And this gives a good indication to the Tier 1 drivers on Friday of what tyre to start on. It does seem like the hard tyre is holding up pretty well against the medium runners. Cruz now has got a 2-second gap to catch up to his other championship rival, who took points out of him the last race, so he's going to want to try and get in front of him as soon as possible. But at the minute, Cross looks like Reg is going to go for his move on the inside.
Yeah, he's got that move just done on exit alone. DRS is just going to help him pull out a slight gap. But I mean, we've seen in a lap and a half how much quicker the hard tyres are for Reg. He's closed in about near enough 2 seconds to Groundsy, and we know Groundsy isn't slow. Now Reg has got this one, and it looks like, given another lap, he'll be outside of the DRS at this rate, and it's all down on Cruiser if he can try to close that gap, because it looks like Groundsy's nowhere on the pace scale at the minute.
Yep, and just as we was talking, a bit of a weird one. I don't know if Biddle's pitted early to jump the people in front, but whatever he was doing, if he did pit early, that advantage is now gone. I think I just caught him spinning the pit, so that's what caused that yellow flag. So he's going to have an mighty outlap here just to try and catch up that deficit. But it does look like their medium tyres are not working, so it's a good indication for other drivers who've got races for the rest of the week. Yeah, Reg at the minute he looks like the man on the move. He's got a 1.3 second gap now. He's about 2.5 to his championship rival Cruz. But we're speaking about the sprint race with Snedden. Has he got this set up wrong? Or is it just a track he doesn't like? Because he is now 2.5 seconds behind his championship rival. His race pace is just not there. And Rumaster's catching him up.
Yeah, I think it was all kind of hidden in the sprint race because everybody was on the mediums. Everyone was kind of suffering all the same. Whereas now we can see Snedden's really just went completely off it. It looks like, don't know whether he's made a little setup change or if he has forgot to put his setup on due to the lobby restart. If that's the case, then that's just going to hamper him this whole race with basically very little downforce compared to what you need for a round here. But it's really not looking good for Snedden whatsoever. Maybe needs to think about trying to get on these hard tyres as soon as possible, limit the damage, which I'm surprised none of the two McLaren boys you were talking about earlier. Lexus just got past Silverside Boy. One of them two, I think, has to just get out of this DRS train. They're getting held up, and whoever gets in first could benefit quite a good few positions out of that.
Yeah, another man on the move is Liam in the Red Bull. He's having a much better race compared to his sprint race. He's up into P6. He's just past still of the RB. And yeah, you can go by back to Fish, Lexus and Silverside Boy. Silverside Boy and Fish were working together there to try and defend off Lexus. Lexus went around the outside of Silverside Boy and caught up a little bit with Fish on the contact model and kind of half spun, but still now takes over the lead. You've got Lexus now diving on the inside of Fish. Fish loses his rear end, which is going to make him vulnerable to Silverside Boy behind, but decides against it. You've got Yorkie down in P11, 5.5 seconds behind. Just got Diamond Deuce just behind him, and Radical waiting in the wings for something to happen. You've got Biddle, our early pace sitter. He has got caught up 5 seconds to Mongo, so this early pit stop is going to push him up the grid a little bit further than what he would like. Cruz now, he's on a mission now to try and catch up Reg. He has got a big gap, but they are both on hard tyres. We've got Steele, who's gone off. He's lost a lot of positions, so he's lost 3 positions, and he picks up a 3-second penalty. Like we were saying earlier, his car looks very, very loose. We've got Silverside Boy just going off in front. But everyone's struggling.
Yeah,
the medium tyres.
Everyone is struggling. Steele's one of them, and we have the first 2 takers. It looks like go into the box. That's Fishsticks and the RB of Steele. We see who was struggling. So Fishsticks got the call, being in front of Gary. So this is all down to how much time can he gain. Yorkie decides to join them in the pits as well. So we get this another 2 laps. We should see a lot of people though still on the medium start coming in, try to respond to that as a yellow. So who is that? That's not causing anything so far. But now Biddle's actually jumped Fishsticks, Steele and Yorkie. Just shows how powerful that undercut really is.
Yeah, I think that was Groundsing sector 1. It's now 5 seconds behind Cruz, and I think these medium tyres have come to the drop-off point now. He's taking time out of him, hands over fist. Like people like Lexus, Cruz and Reg are starting gaining on people in front, and people like Biddle, who is now jumped 3 seconds in front of Fish. He's only 7.5 seconds behind. Still is 8 tenths behind Fish, so they stayed the same. Silverside Boys are going to come into the pits. No, Silverside Boy is going to go longer. I'm guessing that's due to the fact that he's still in DRS to the drivers in front, so he's not going to lose too much time. He can gain it up through the straights. We do have people pitting. We've got Groundsy, our P2 gentleman. We've got Diamond and we've got Radical coming into the pits. So let's see where Groundsy. Oh, we've got Sector 3 still has binned it on the last corner. That has brought out the virtual safety car. I'm not too sure how he's crashed there. Literally the last corner. I'm not too sure how he's done that.
Maybe he's
Hey
just
ho.
hit the wall on the inside is my only thinking, but even then I wouldn't see the car getting destroyed.
No, so people like Silverside Boy, who else? Snedden. They're going to be hoping that this virtual safety car stays out for another 50-60 seconds at least, because what they'll do, they'll pit under the virtual safety car, and if you're new to Formula 1, pitting under the virtual safety car saves you at least 10 seconds for your pit stop. Normal average pit stop is probably around 20 seconds, just over 20 seconds, so it's near enough halved. And they're just coming around now. I'll be very surprised if Snedden doesn't pit, which, oh, no, he hasn't. He hasn't decided to take the opportunity to pit. Oh, has Silverside Boy decided to pit? Yes, he has. So, and the virtual safety car has just ended, just as he's coming into the pits. So maybe that's why Snedden decided not to pit. But yet Cruz slightly still about 3 seconds behind. So with them, he's still in the undercut section time-wise. Biddle's now jumped up into P7, so he has jumped through. He's jumped down to 9th. Liam's down to 10th. Silverside Boy is down to 11th. So Silverside Boy hasn't lost many positions, but he has lost around 4 seconds to his teammate, so that's what the undercut is worth. And I think Fish pitted the 2 laps before. Pretty spread out cross throughout the whole of the grid so far.
Yeah, we really only have the one battle on track at the minute. That's between Diamond Dushi and Yorkie fighting for P12. Diamond Dushi got one down the inside of Yorkie. Slight little wobble there on the exit of turn 5. Got down the inside of Yorkie, pushed him out wide. Both of them went off the track, so Yorkie won't be too happy with that one. No damage done though, so Diamond Dushi takes P12, but as we say, we can see how much the undercut has helped Fish Sticks and Biddle. They're both now on the back of Mongo. Need a dispatch of him pretty quickly. Snedden still sticking it out on the medium tires, so he's trying to get some big benefit towards the end of this race, trying to get as fresh of hards as he can.
Yeah, and Mongo has just pitted, so it's pushed everyone up a place, especially Biddle, so it's not going to affect him going into the the next lap. Let's just take a look at the stops, see who's stopped. So only the top 4 have not pitted, so it's 3 out of the 4 people that started on hard tyres haven't pitted, and you've got Snedden going around about 11 seconds behind his teammate. But in the minute cross, it looks like Reg has got the upper hand on Cruz so far. 4 seconds now.
Yeah, that gap's just opened up another second in the last lap. So it looks like Cruiser maybe trying to push too hard on the tyres now, maybe just overdriving the car and starting to lose a bit more time than he would want. So at the minute, Regmeister looks like he has this one for now, but coming towards the end of this race, with Snedden being on the fresher hards, he could maybe become a factor, although he's 10 seconds behind. The safety car does cut that out, and into the box he comes. So you will get a couple of laps better tyres than the rest of the field to try to work off.
Yeah, let's see where he drops down. He's going to not want to drop into traffic. Preferably, he's not going to want to drop into traffic. He's got a 13. I think he's going to drop outside the top 10, is he? He's just going to be behind Liam and Gary. That's not what he wanted. He probably would have wanted to pick the lap before, which would have given him the gap to Silverside Boy and Liam. So he has got traffic to get through. Snedden has picked up a 3 seconds penalty though at some point, and with Lexus with 3 seconds. So the minute we've got Biddle's also on the move now, looking a bit more comfortable on the hard tyres, only half a second behind Groundsy.
Yeah, he's all over the back of Groundsy. Groundsy, although he's on the fresher tyres, Biddle has the tyres heated up a bit more. It's giving him that extra grip. So we should be seeing a move down into turn 1 as long as he can keep it clean through the last sector. Just over, well, 7/10 now, so Groundsy's just pulling out that gap very slightly. So maybe the tyres are just starting to come into the range for Groundsy in the Williams. But Biddle looks like he's just going to hold on, get the RSS lap, but come next lap, Groundsy just might be too far away at this rate.
Yeah, Groundsy looks like he's put his foot down a little bit, but has still given Biddle DRS, and Biddle did use most of his battery up then just to stick in front. Got a move down the back, got Liam and Silverside Boys still fighting for position. Silverside Boys on the old defensive, and you do have Liam and Snedden just here. Snedden's going around the outside. Liam cuts him off just on the exit. Just get feisty between them three, and Biddle picks up his first 3-second warning for track limits. Brewmaster all over the back of Fish. Brewmaster picked a little bit, and Cruz but more so on the wood, and he's gone off at some point. He's gone off on the last corner, very, very, very wide. So I think he would have touched probably the grass on the outside. It was on all the paint on the exit of second to last corner. He's picked up 3 seconds and all. So not a very good clean Grand Prix so far for Cruz. Let's have a look. Got Remaster and Fish still fighting. Got Liam and Snedden is still fighting. Snedden is just biding his time at the present moment. Yorkie just 1.7 behind this pair. Diamond just outside of DRS from him. He got Radical slowly catching up. Bread in front. And he got a move down into turn 1. He got Remaster taking the position from Fish. Got Liam also taking the position from Silside Boys. Silside Boys using all his overtake possible. Is he going to lunge it into turn 3? No, he decides not to, so he's going to have to save his battery up a little bit more and try and follow his way through Liam, who's having a much better Grand Prix than the sprint. Yeah, any surprises out there so far for you, Cross? Any disappointments?
I have to say, one big surprise, I think, is the Haas of Biddle. You know, we've seen that he had the problem coming into the pits when he did decide to pit very early onto them hard tyres. It's benefited him, and even without that mistake, he'd be well in the running to try to grab a podium here. But unfortunately for him, it doesn't look like it's going to be the case now with Groundsy 2 seconds up the road and with that time penalty over his head. Well, I'm probably a bit disappointed is probably Brett is cool in the kick sober. Obviously a bit of problems at the start with him. Just doesn't seem like he's able to battle his way through 16 lap old hards. He is going to have to box again because I can't see these hards making it. So it looks like it's going to be a lonely enough race for him down at the back.
Yeah, and Silside Boys just being passed up by Snedden, so he drops down to P10. So Snedden has made that move. He's going to want to try and have a good set of laps here because Cruz and Reg will be on the faster tyre at the end. But he's going to want to try and gain as much as he can. There's 20 seconds between him and Cruz, so and just see Fish go off slightly. Biddle's now dropped to 2.7 seconds behind Groundsy. Groundsy's now trying to reel in Lexus, who still hasn't pitted, so he's very, very well so far. Very clean race by Lexus. Part of the little coming together with Fish. He's doing very well in P3. Groundsy now though is on the move on the fresher tyres. He has caught up to the 7/10 this lap, so I'm guessing the hard tyres are going to start going off now, so you see some hard runners start coming in within the next 5 laps, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if anything can go by the medium runners at the start of the race, kind of 10 laps really is the push that you get some half decent life out of the mediums. They'll maybe trying to get 24, 25 laps on the hards before they have to make that switch over. And the way Groundsy's going, he could actually be putting the pressure on the Reg. 21 seconds looks like it's going to be, or 22 seconds, sorry, is the gap at the minute. That's still going to come down in the next 5 laps, so maybe we can see Groundsy jumping Reg here in the pits, although Reg will be on the faster tyre. It's going to be for how long with how these mediums are running.
And Snedden picked up his second warning, so that's 6 seconds now. I did just see him have a wobble coming out of turn 4, and he was on the grass, and that's what caused him to have the penalty. So that's 6 seconds now, so it's going to be very hard for him to try and get on the podium. But people that are in good contention with good result, you've got Remaster there, no penalty so far. You've got Fish again, very normally quite a clean driver when it comes to track limits, doing good. You've got Radical. So far, he's actually caught up a lot on Brendan's call in the last couple of laps. So he's a man on the move down in P15. Anything can happen. Late safety car, bring a lot of people back into play. Yeah, Diamond Douche down in 12th. He was saying, obviously on chat, that he was struggling a little bit. Do you just think this is track specific? Because the last couple of Grand Prix actually done quite well.
Looks like we know quite a lot of people do not like this track, and I think he is one of them. He's struggling down in P12, can't really make any inroads to try to grab a few points. I think he'll need a late safety car to try to help him with that, especially if he keeps no time penalties. Might be able to grab a point or two, but at the minute it's just not looking right for him. Yorkie's starting to pull away slightly in the Ferrari, so it looks like it's going to be a lonely one for him with Mongo 15 seconds back.
Yeah, and you've seen over the course of this lap, you had Groundsy now made his move on Lexus. So Lexus dropped 2.5 seconds behind. Remaster's just past Biddle, who now has been hounded by Fish. Snedden's now made his move on Liam. Liam's still keeping him in contention so far, but they are slowly catching the group up in front. And Silverside Boys now suddenly kind of come alive. Bit of battery saved up. Getting used to them hard tyres, and still sticking with the group in front. They are slowly catching P7, 6 and 5. Yeah, Cruz is about 8 seconds behind Reg. You've got Fish now going down the inside of Biddle. Fish has gone very wide, so he's going to lose that position to Biddle. Silverside Boy has overtaken Liam. Liam may have had a slight little problem. Now Silverside Boy's all over the back of Snedden. Yeah, so going back up to the top at the minute, Cross Granzy looks like he'll be first once the top two pit. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's right on that cutoff. It's 22 seconds at the minute. It is coming down. Regmeister has decided to call it a day on the hard tyres. He thinks this is basically his last lap to stay in the lead. So it is to cover off Groundsy. Cruiser does stay out. So Groundsy needs to make this a great last sector to try to get the lead from Regmeister, who's already out of his pit box. So it looks like the Alpine driver has done enough to hold off the lead and be on the better tyres to the end.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the football scores. Arsenal 2-2 against PSV. Vinicius Junior scores a penalty. So Athletic Madrid is still winning against Real Madrid. Villa are cruising against what's their name? Can't remember their name now. Bruges by 2-0. So it's all happening in the Champions League. Going back to the racing, got Biddle now been passed by Fish. Snedden is now caught up as the little pack, and so is Silverside Boy and Liam. So it's all to play for, of course, for fourth place, really.
We know how easy it is to get time penalties around here, so Blue Master and Fish Sticks both need to be careful here, because all the ones in behind are lurking in the wings. People like Gary Liam are ready to pounce on anyone that makes a mistake. They've already got the 2 positions from Bill and Snedden if it stays the way it is at the minute, and especially being on the slight pressure tyres is going to benefit them in the last probably 3-4 laps, that they can even gain a bit more pace. So there'll be 2 to look out for that could grab a sneaky P4 or P5.
Radical now is caught up, and we do have our first hard runner at Slow's pit stop. Oh no, it's just a game. So Cruz has now pitted. And let's see how much time he's going to have to try and catch up. He's going to drop. Oh, he's going to drop behind. He's going to come right in the middle of this packfish. He's going to be around the outside of Cruz. And that's very important for Cruz there to try and get some space. So the last thing you want is to be in the mix of this group. So he's played that out well. Good. Let's see how much he can catch up in the next couple of laps. I would expect it probably to be about 2 seconds a lap faster than Reg. So Reg is going to want to probably watch out. Oh, Reg is pitted. My mistake. When did he pit?
He pitted the lap or 2 laps before. Just about got
did he? Oh, okay. Okay, so Groundsy's obviously 4.9 behind now. So yeah, this win is in Reg's hands so far. But Cruz has got a couple of cars to try and pick up. We've got some moving here.
Ned's made a mistake.
Sector 2.
Looks like it doesn't spin, or if he's just ran wide, but he's definitely lost the 3 positions. And Biddle looks like he's starting to lose as well.
Yeah, Biddle was one of the first ones to pit. He's now lost out to Silverside Boy, who's now P5 and 6 for the McLaren. P4 is still on the cars. Cruz has already caught up Brewmaster. So that's him up into net P3 so far. Biddle and Silverside Boy still fighting for that position. He's got Liam now having a better exit than Biddle. He's using a bit more battery, but Biddle looks like he has got a little bit more straight line speed than he does. Silverside Boy, but yeah, bad to worse so far for Snedden.
Yeah, it's kind of been the tale of 2 tapes for Snedden tonight. You know, the sprint race wasn't too bad, but now it's just gone from bad to worse, and it's sliding now on the hard tyres. Just trying to overdrive the car, trying to stick in the DRS of Liam. And as he runs out wide again, that's cost him all that time. Now Yorkie's in behind, putting the pressure on him. So it looks like Snedden could be dropping down to P10 once we get to the DRS straight. Cruiser up top, his teammate, 1.7 already clear Brewmaster. He should be able to clear this time penalty no problem. Whether he can hold on to it at the end of the race is going to be the whole case. With 3.4 up the road to Groundsy, that could be maybe a P2 on track for Cruiser, which he could be happy with, considering how his race has went.
Yeah, it's obviously a little bit too late for Cruz now for P1, but he's going to have a fight in his hands to try and get past Groundsy. I know Groundsy's on the harder tyre, but let's see how long these medium tyres do last. He has got another 9 laps, so they only really lasted about 12-13, so let's see. Got Silverside Boy now hounding down on his teammate. 2.4 now, he's clear of Liam, but like you were saying when we was talking about Snedden, he did go off again, so that's going to be another track limit warning for him. So in a minute he's actually going to finish, because of his 6-second penalty, he's actually going to not even... Oh, he spun! Caught that. Oh, that, to be fair, Cross, that was a very, very good save there by Snedden.
I don't know what is going on these past couple of laps for Snedden. I don't know if he's just been rattled or something, but the car is just so unstable now. The rear end just near enough going at every corner. We see maybe there, it's the only time it's been planted throughout this whole lap. So now it's all about trying to just hold on to Yorkies or something, and even then, he's already over a second behind, so now he's going to have the pressure. I'm Douchey maybe in behind to try to hold off just to keep that P10 with the penalties.
Yeah, I personally think he's probably got the setup wrong. He's the only car I've been watching that it's got, apart from Still, who's has such not so much rear end stability. It's really, really bad, like you were saying, all twitching through the corners. Do you think he's just literally just got the setup wrong? There's too much of a gap between what he's got his front wing set at and to his rear.
But we didn't see that in the sprint race from him. So what I'm only thinking is he's forgot to put a setup on, and he's just been given the default setup, which is pretty low downforce for around here. I think now with the hard starting to wear in, that maybe as another big slide nearly hits the wall. So I think he's just forgot his setup, and I think that's just really caused them all this trouble. Because the tire pressures, the tire could be completely overheating because they won't be on max PSI. So this is probably what has happened for Snedden. He's just forgot it.
He's even forgot it, and when we did the restart, he decided to change it, and it just not worked out for him. But yeah, the downfall continues for Snedden. At the minute, he's going to be around P13 once his time penalties. Silverside Boys caught up at least 4 attempts to fish in the last couple of laps. You've got Cruz now hounding Groundsy, so this is probably going to be one of the closest. This is, apart from Biddle and Yorkie, this is the closest fight on the track so far. And Cruz is going to need this to keep his championship alive. Reg is 13 points behind with Cruz. Looks like he's going to finish, unless he can get the gap to Groundsy of the 3 seconds, net P2, so it's going to be 18 points, so he's 25, so Reg is going to near enough half his deficit to Cruz. That's including what he didn't get, well, that's excluding what he didn't get in the sprint, so I think if it goes like this across, I think Reg is either going to be level or near enough in front of Cruz.
Yeah, we still need to find out if Cruz can clear this time penalty on Groundsy. He will get them moved on. He's right up the rear wing of the Williams. DRS open. Got it moved on well before we even get looking at turn 1. So Cruz up to P2. He's got 3 seconds to find in 6 laps. Isn't that much of a task for about the next 4 laps, but it's the last couple of laps where we've seen these medium tires die off. If he can hold that gap, so that will be one definitely look out in about 5 laps time.
Yeah, and Grant is going to have to just try and stick with him now. Use all the batteries got possible. We've got move down the back here. We've got Yorkie and Biddle fighting for position. Biddle goes on the inside. Yorkie gives him plenty of room on the inside. And that's allowed Snedden now. They're fighting to catch up in P10. Yorkie now picks up a 3-second penalty. So these boys are literally fighting for a point. If Diamond Douche can pull something out of the bag, another 1.5 seconds really, or 2 seconds, he can finish in P8 the way it goes. Silverside Boy now has closed that gap down to 4 tenths. So I expect to see Silverside Boy pass Mr. Fishy this lap. Let's just go on board with Silverside Boy and see if he does make that move. Fish has got a lot more battery to defend than he does with Gary. In sector 2 we have a yellow flag. Not too sure who that is. I think it was Mongo again. And Fish, I think Fish did either lost it or did the dummy there. Trying to get DRS. Silverside Boy did pass him before the final corner. He just nearly rear end his teammate, but that moves Silverside Boy up into 5th place. So let's just have a look at the position change. So he's up 8 places. So alongside Yorkie, Cross, them two have been the main movers today.
Yeah, we talked earlier on about the McLarens, both of them starting on the mediums and the strategy, how that was going to play out. It played out actually pretty well for them both. Up into P5 and P6 respectively. Gary looked like he's got quite a bit of pace. Fishnix, I think, just tried to play a little dummy, trying to catch Gary out and get the DRS. Did not work out. Gary just starting to pull out that gap. Another 10.5 and he's left Fishnix in the dust. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case though. He's got a couple of corners to do that. But that gap out now in front with Cruiser up to 2 seconds already. So he is pushing. But it's all about now. If Gary can clear Fishnix, I think Gary can basically claim P5 for his own.
Yeah, and the only thing that would change this order would be a late safety car to spice things up, but other than that the grid is pretty much spread out apart from a couple battles here. We've got Biddle, Yorkie and Liam all fighting. Liam goes very ultra defensive. Yorkie is now cutting on the inside. It's a little bit of a better exit. He's going to use a little bit more battery, and he's going to go. He hasn't, trying to force Liam into a mistake, which he hasn't been able to do. So Liam now stays at P7 alongside Biddle. Diamond Douche and Lexus are still about 4.7 behind this group, so if they can go a little bit faster, they'll be on a good position. Radical's now moved himself up to P12. he'd think it's a disappointing result, but as he started at the back, he has moved up position, so good for him. Snedden looks like he's going to try and get the fastest lap. He's now gone onto the soft tyres. He obviously sacrificed about a point, I think, to try and get the soft tyre lap time in. British Cool is now picking up a 3-second warning. So, yeah, not a very good Grand Prix weekend for British Cool across his 50th championship. So this is going to dampen his hopes.
Yeah, it really is going to damper his hopes. And I think actually pulling on Sned, boxing for the fastest lap, I think he's starting to help out his teammate because we know how close this is going to get between Reg and Cruiser. He's going to take the fastest lap off Reg if he can do it. So that's one less point that Reg will get, and that could be pretty crucial to say the Cruiser stays in the championship lead after this race. But he's all over the back of Mongo now. He needs to get a clear lap. He's not going to get it. So maybe he's got one more chance at this. He needs to recharge the battery. He actually has got it though, pretty convincingly. And he lets Mongo straight past all straight away. So that's the point taken off Reg. Cruiser will be happy with that one.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened to Snedden then. All he did was do the fastest lap, but he slowed down and let two people by. Weird. Not too sure what that's all about, but he did let Mongo and Radical by, and he's got no airs on, so maybe he's going for another flying run. Joe even faster. British Cool has done the same. He's bought on the soft tyres, nothing to lose at the back. Fish is now still on the back of Silverside Boy, and he can have a good go at Silverside Boy here. He's got a lot more overtake than what Silverside Boy has. Let's take a look. Very good running. Fish decides against it. Silverside Boy takes the outer line into that corner. The rest wide open for Fish. You've got Yorkie still trying to get past Liam. Still Liam gets a little bit of a better exit coming out of turn 1. Yorkie has decided to turn off his battery to save a little bit. Just waiting in the wings behind. Lexus and Diamond are still firing out for P11, P10. So that at the minute, Diamond is going to get a point as it stands. Radical is catching the group in front. So he's got up a second so far on Diamond and Lexus. And again down in P14. Let's see if he's still not going to go for fast lap. His urge is turned off, so I think that's him done for the day. But yeah, a bit stalemate so far. It's just literally Fish and Silverside Boy fighting, and Yorkie, Biddle and Liam.
Yeah, it's only a couple of close battles on track. You know, Liam really isn't under much pressure from behind unless Diamond can somehow pull out some sorcery in the last 2 laps. But it looks like Liam is pretty solid for the P7. We talked about it earlier about Cruiser trying to get that 3-second time penalty cleared. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. The medium tires have just died off on him, so it looks like Groundsy will claim the P2 after the penalties, barring any mistakes. But apart from that, everything seemed pretty clean. As I say that though, Diamond Dushi has crashed on the exit, or the entry, sorry, at turn 3.
So yeah, I don't know how he's done that. He might have come a cropper with Lexus. It's the only thing I can think of, because it's a straight and moves Radical up to P11. So he's going to be happy with that, or happier. He'll pick up another 3-second warning. So let's just take a look at the penalty situation. Biddle's got 9 seconds. Lexus has got 6. Yorkie's got 3. Cruiser's got 3. So at the minute, Cross Ramsey has got the better of Cruise at the minute. Cruise's tyres might be going up slightly, but Ramsey's going to get P2 here. Well, it's going to be tight, very tight.
Cruiser has saved up a bit more battery. Ramsey's using up everything to try to hold in on this 3 seconds. He's claimed a half a second already, Cruiser, in about the last lap. It's 2.6, 4 tenths isn't really much else like not that hard to gain through the second sector, especially with how much battery Cruiser has now. I think he could do this. British sorry, retires on the last lap.
He's crashed into the wall. Watch it, beeps. He's off the track, but as we cross the line, Reg takes a win in Hungary in the Tier 2 race, and coming across the line is Cruz. It doesn't look like he's done enough, and that's going to be a P3 for him, so he's going to be disappointed with himself there. And comes across the line is Groundsy, much better performance there by Groundsy. This is P2. Silside Boy and Remaster is going to pick up a wonderful P4 for Remaster. So a brilliant race by him. Silside Boy, he said it wasn't his strongest. I reckon he's going to be happy with P5 here. With alongside Fish is P6. Liam, it looks like he's going to hold on to P7, and Yorkie is P8. Biddle's going to drop down. Does he going to drop down to P10? No, Lexus decides to give it a bit of showboating, and he comes radical across the line. He's coming around into P11. And the good lad finished the race, so he finished 7.6 behind him. Come Mongo and Snedden. And he comes Mongo, and Snedden comes around in last place in P13. So not very entertaining race, but for Reg over the course of the 2 Grand Prix, we'll have a look in a minute what the overall standings for the weekend is. Oh, we can't. No, it's reset, isn't it? So Regmeister takes P1 again, alongside the sprint race win. P2 is Gramsci, P3 is Cruz, P4 is Remaster, P5 is Silside Boy, P6 is Fish 6, P7 Liam, P8 is Yorkie, P9 is Biddle, and rounding off the top 10 is Lexus in the Mercedes. So if you wanted to invite Reg, Gramsci and Cruz in, I don't think Gramsci does interviews, but we can always try.
See, but pretty sure I think Cruiser might lead the championship still by 1. I think.
It's going to be close.
See if we get anybody even in for any interviews, will be the thing. Well, there's one. Give the other 2 another try, see what happens. Doesn't look like we're going to get any of the other 2, so it looks like it's just going to be Cruiser then.
That's fine. If you wanted to just take people, take Cruz on a little interview then.
So, Cruz, P3 on track, P2 on track, P3 after the time penalties. There must have been someone in the air saying start on the hards. Say that, or you've seen it on Monday. Definitely, you picked the right strategy. Just talk us through the strategy first, if you don't mind.
Yeah, just do opposite to everyone else. That was the way to go. A lot of people started on the mediums, so let's just do the opposite, see what happens. And thankfully, although there was virtual safety cars, there wasn't a full safety car. Otherwise, they'd have been in trouble. But just too many small mistakes tonight, and it just knocked on for the final result.
Well, obviously, we had a sprint weekend this week. So, sprint race, just talk us through that there, if you don't mind.
I can't really complain. I got second place on track across both of them, but The only other matters that Reg beat me in both of them, so that's a couple of points back to him, and that I think that gap now is well, certainly a lot less than what it was at the start of the evening. And Snedden, I think it's just a bad night for a bad night for him. But a halfway stage, if you were to tell me I'd be leading the championship 7 races in, I'd have bet your arm off, even be in contention for it. But still waiting. I need to just get the monkey off of my back and get first place. Because as good as I've been, I just haven't found the top step.
Yeah, it's just been P2 and P3 for yourself. I think if my mind serves me correct, then it's 2 points between yourself and Reg if you have finished P2 in the sprint race. But talk us through that. It wasn't really much of an interesting race, I think, from your perspective with Regmeister being all the way out. I think really the only real thing was at the end with Brownsy trying to pull away the 3 seconds with the time penalty. Just hadn't been able to do it. Got a half a second on him. Just couldn't get the full second on him in the last 2 laps.
Yeah, again, it was just stupid errors, and the mistake I made to get the 3 seconds, I was stuck in the outside curb at the penultimate corner, or the penultimate hairpin, and I just lost like 3 seconds in that alone. So that's what cost me 3 points in there, ironically. But all in all, I can't complain too much over course of how the seasons went. But the next two tracks are going to be an absolute killer for me because Baku, I've not had the best of luck, and Singapore is probably my worst track. So I'm going to have to really knuckle in the practice and get the hours up if I've got a chance to something. But the Reg and Louis here, I look forward to part two in the second half of the season.
It's been a great finish to the first half. It looked like the start of the season you were starting to pull away with it. Reg, though, has decided to show up and start crawling in that gap. Second half of the season is definitely going to be squeaky bum time for yourself, especially as you said, the next 2 weeks doesn't look like they're going to be great for yourself. Just hoping for some probably mistakes from Reg, but congratulations on P2 in the sprint and P3 in the main race.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Yep, so we go over to our race winner who took the double for the weekend. P1 in the sprint, P1 in the main race. So congratulations, Reg. Just talk us through. To be fair, you don't really know to talk. You're so much faster than everyone else today. But just talk us through what kind of setup you chose and why.
Sorry, guys. The mic unplugged there. What did you say again?
Just talk us through your setup. Did you go for more obviously high downforce? Did you decide to have a little bit more straight end speed?
Yeah,
So you got beaten qualifying twice, but your race pace was obviously immense.
yeah, I was 47, 49 in, or I can't remember what way round, but 47 and 49 for the wings. So very, very high. But I think most people would have been quite high. I notched the front wing up to 50 when it was in qualifying, just to give me that bit more grip through the turns. But yeah, qualifying was close. I think Groundsy was definitely, to be honest, quicker overall.
Oh, so like that, mate.
And it says sums up this night with every issue that we've had.
Okay, while he's gone, if you wanted, but yeah, congratulations, Reg, on your P1. And obviously closed in on Cruise, so the next couple of races are going to be very, very important for both drivers. Now stretched out that lead to Snedden. So pretty much got a race winner above Snedden now, both drivers. So it's neck and neck between them two drivers, and the next couple of Grand Prix are going to be the most important ones with the street tracks. So going forward, Cross Street, who is your driver of the day? You've got people like Yorkie finishing the top 10, Gary, and obviously you've got Reg who dominated the weekend. Who is your driver of the day?
Yeah, you basically just called it between the three. I don't want to be born and give it to Reg, although he did have a dominant drive. Yorkie, great race for himself, got up into the points, but I think I have to give it to Gary. Worked the strategy out to a T in the McLaren, and although he was fighting his teammate, he got it done at the end, and a good P5 in the end for him. So I'm gonna have to give it to Gary.
There you go. There is your driver of the day. It was to Silside Boy, who's yet to win a race, but has got the most awards for driver of the day. But yep, join us for Friday in the Tier 1 race around here, which is going to be very, very fun indeed. Not, but we'll see. But please join us 8 o'clock on Twitch, and expect to see me and Cross next week for the Tier 2 race around Baku. Have a good evening. Bye bye.
Hi, motherfuckers.